Dear audience, thank you very much for watching the documentary White Torture of Nobel Peace Prize winner and political prisoner Narges Mohammadi. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Mariam Claren. I live in Germany. I'm an activist on behalf of the freedom of political prisoners in Iran. I host a podcast in Germany named Political Prisoners in Iran, and I'm a speaker on the issue of human rights abuses in Iran. My story with the Islamic Republic of Iran, my struggle with the Islamic Republic of Iran began when my mother, Nohid Tagavi, was arrested by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in October 2020. She also experienced white torture. She spent 200 days in solitary confinement in the cold security wards of Evin prison. She was interrogated 1,000 hours by the agents without access to an independent lawyer. She experienced white torture like being in a tiny cell, no fresh air, no fresh food, and being under pressure. After the solitary confinement section was over, she was brought to court and she was convicted to 10 years and 8 months in prison only because the Islamic Republic of Iran criminalized her system of belief. She's right now in the women ward of Evin prison together with Narges Mohammadi and together with more than 50 other women, environmentalists, lawyers, women rights activists, religious minorities like the Baha'is, etc. They all have one thing in common. They challenged the rulers of the Islamic Republic of Iran and therefore they were imprisoned. After my mother was arrested and I started to focus on the lack of rule of law or on the judiciary of the Islamic Republic of Iran, I quickly found out that using white torture and solitary confinement is something that the Islamic Republic of Iran does on a regular basis to break prisoners, to extract forced confessions, and to use these forced confessions in front of a kangaroo court. And this is often the only evidence for a crime that they use, and the judges who are not independent take this kind of evidence and convict the bravest and best people in Iran to many years in prison. This is what happened to my mother, Nohid Tagavi. This is what happened to Narges Mohammadi. While I am recording this video, Narges Mohammadi is on hunger strike in Evin prison. She protests against the lack of medical care for political prisoners, and she protests against the forced hijab for women in the Islamic Republic of Iran. We currently saw that Armita Garavand, a 16 years old young woman, died after she was beaten by the morality police. And I think you all are aware of the story of Jina Mahsa Amini, who died in September 2022 because the morality police beat her so hard because she was not wearing her hijab like they wanted to. So being a woman in the Islamic Republic of Iran means your life is in danger. And this is something Narges is protesting against. And this is very interesting that Narges is using her own body, her own health to protest this cruel system of the theocratic dictatorship in the Islamic Republic of Iran. This is only one example for the bravery and resistance of people like Narges Mohammadi. For example, you just saw the documentary White Torture. You need to know that making such a documentary in the Islamic Republic of Iran itself means danger. But Narges managed to record this documentary, to make these interviews with the former political prisoners while she was on a very short prison leave. And what is very important about this film is that Narges shines a bright light on something which the Islamic Republic want it to be invisible. So when we talk about physical torture, this is something you can see. But when we talk about white torture, this is something you cannot see. And I think Narges Mohammadi managed to make something that we couldn't see visible for the people. And, in the 1980s, when the Islamic Republic of Iran was doing massacre on political prisoners, they always used physical torture, and they still use physical torture. But this new method of using white torture to break a prisoner, to get forced confessions, is something new, and it is unfortunately a very common practice, not only in the Islamic Republic of Iran, also in the United States of America. I once had a conversation with a former political prisoner, and I was interviewing this prisoner and asking how the interrogations were and how they use white torture. And the person told me that his interrogator told him during the interrogations that they learned from Guantanamo how to use white torture. So we are not just talking about something this is happening in the Middle East. This is something which is very common in a place like the United States where you live in. And I'm very proud that people like Narges Mohammadi managed to make something which is taboo in the head of the media, and that we have this documentary which you just saw. So many people can witness what is going on behind the bars, behind the cold cells of solitary confinement, not only in the Islamic Republic of Iran. It is very important to stand beside people like Narges Mohammadi, like my mother Nahid Tagavi, and like thousands of other political prisoners in Iran. Because we should not forget that these people don't deserve bars, they deserve awards. And these people were brave enough to stand against something, and now they are paying a big price for their activities. In a world which is so dark and cruel, especially in these times when we are witnessing a genocide on the people of Palestine, we should not stay silent. We should hear the voices of the people around the world. We should show our solidarity. And I'm very, very thankful that people like you used your free time, came today to see the documentary of Narges, to learn more about the political prisoners in Iran. And I ask you to join us in our fight for the freedom of political prisoners. Thank you very, very much, and I wish you a very good evening.